Welcome to New Era School Notes for Studies.
Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about English grammar. But wait, forget those dusty, boring rule books. I want you to think about grammar in a totally different way, like a creative toolkit, a set of building blocks that lets you construct any idea you can possibly imagine. So let's start with the big question. How do we actually build a sentence? How do we take all these jumbled thoughts in our heads and shape them into something clear, something powerful? Well, it turns out it's actually pretty simple. You do it with just 8 powerful building blocks. Yeah, that's it, only 8. Think of them like Legos. Every single word in the English language fits into one of these 8 categories. And once you get how they work, you can build anything, from the simplest phrase to a massive, complex story. So you ready? Let's get building. All right, first things first. Every good structure needs a solid foundation, and in the world of sentences, that foundation is built with just 2 essential blocks, nouns and verbs. You literally cannot have a sentence without them. Okay, so first up, we've got the noun. This is the who or the what of our sentence. It's the main subject. It could be a person like a teacher, a place like a city, a thing like a book, or even something you can't touch, an idea like courage. Here's a great little classroom trick. If you can put the word the or a in front of it and it makes sense, it's almost definitely a noun. So if the noun is our what, the verb is what our noun is or what it does. This is our action block. It can be a really obvious action, like run or study, or it can be what we call a state of being, like the word is or became. The verb is truly the engine of the sentence. Without it, nothing is happening. So let's see what happens when we put our first 2 blocks together. We take one noun, dog, and one verb, ran. And there you have it. The dog ran. A complete sentence. It's super simple, sure, but that's a solid foundation. Now let's make it a little more interesting. Okay, our foundation is officially in place. Now it's time for the really fun part, adding some flair. These next building blocks are all about adding color, detail, and description. They're what's going to take our basic structure and turn it into something way more vivid. Our first detail block is the adjective. Adjectives exist to give our nouns more detail. They answer questions like, what kind of dog was it? Or which assignment are we talking about? Is it a beautiful day? Are we looking at a tall building? Was that a difficult test? Adjectives give our nouns some personality. So let's add a couple of adjectives to our sentence. We go from just the dog to the small brown dog. See that? Instantly, the picture in your mind gets way clearer. Just 2 little blocks, and the image just pops. All right, next up, the adverb. Now, if adjectives describe nouns, adverbs describe our verbs. They tell us how, when, or where an action is happening. Words like quickly or carefully. Even words you might not think of, like yesterday or here. Those are adverbs too. So let's add one. Our sentence now becomes, the small brown dog ran quickly. Now we don't just know that it ran, we know how it ran. See how every block adds another layer of specific detail? Okay, so we've built a solid, pretty descriptive little sentence. But what if we want to build something bigger? What if we want to connect our ideas and add some more context? For that, we're going to need our special connector blocks. First up is the preposition. These little words are amazing at showing relationships. They connect a noun to the rest of the sentence, and they often tell us about location, like in the box, or direction, like toward the school, or even time, like after class. A preposition is almost always followed by a noun, and we call that little phrase a prepositional phrase. And look what that does to our sentence now. The small brown dog ran quickly through the park. That little preposition, through, connects the noun park to the action, telling us exactly where the dog was running. Our sentence just got a whole lot more specific. And now for the ultimate connector block, the conjunction. This one's a real game changer. It can link single words, phrases, or even 2 whole sentences together. A fantastic classroom trick for remembering the main ones is the acronym FANBOYS. That's for, and, nor, but, or, Yet and so. Let's use one right now to connect our sentence to a totally new idea. We add a little comma, then the word and now we're ready. We're ready to add a second action, a second clause, and build a much more complex thought. We're almost there. Our sentence structure is getting big and detailed. Now it's time for our final 2 blocks. These are the ones that add a little efficiency and a burst of human emotion to whatever we're building. So let's meet the pronoun. You could call this one the MVP of efficiency. I mean, why would you say the dog ran and the dog jumped when you can say it so much more smoothly? Words like he, she, and it step in to replace nouns and keep our writing from sounding clunky and repetitive.
And here it is, our final build. Okay, first notice that word right at the beginning. Wow. That's our 8th and final block, the interjection. It's just a short, standalone word that expresses a sudden feeling or emotion. Then look at the very end. And it jumped. The pronoun it just slides in there to replace dog. And there you go. All 8 of our blocks working together to create one complete, detailed thought.
So there you have it, the 8 building blocks of English. Now let's finish up with a few pro tips to help you dodge some really common mistakes and become a master at building your own sentences. Okay, this is a classic mix-up. Good versus well. Here's the deal. Good is an adjective, so it always describes a noun. You have a good idea. That is a good song. Well, on the other hand, is an adverb, so it describes a verb, an action. You speak English well. She sings well. Just remember, good describes things, well describes how things are done. And here's the other big one that trips up everybody. It's versus its. The secret here is actually so simple. It's with no apostrophe shows ownership. The dog wagged its tail. It's with an apostrophe is always, and I mean always, a shorter way of saying it is. So the test is easy. If you can replace the word with it is, then you have to use the apostrophe. If you can't, then you don't. Simple as that. So here it is, your ultimate cheat sheet. Everything we just covered all in one place. You should definitely keep this handy. Anytime you're writing and you're not sure about a word, just look it up here and find its job in the sentence. This is your toolkit, all laid out. In the end, grammar isn't about memorizing a bunch of boring rules. It's about knowing how to use your tools. And now you have all 8 building blocks. You've got the foundation, the details, the connectors, and all the finishing touches. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. We are also on Facebook and TikTok. Just scan the QR. This is Victoria signing out. Peace.